Lori here. I'm back to start a new reading vlog. So this is September 27th that I'm starting it, but I'm probably gonna fully start it tomorrow. But I just wanted to I really have liked kind of giving myself a weekly TBR and kind of trying to finish that by the end of the week, and I've done pretty good. So I'm going to kind of talk through everything. This week is going to be the first week of October. The first day of October. I am participating in a reading challenge that will go up on this channel long before you see this reading vlog. Like, it will go up in a couple of days. But some of these books are for that. Some of these are just books that I wanted to read. But the first book that I am currently reading is Instant Karma by Marissa Meyer, which I'm really, really enjoying. It is her first foray into contemporary, but it has like a magic twist. So you follow this girl named Prudence, or Prue, and she somehow winds up developing this power to cast instant karma on people. And she winds up doing it on a lot of different people over the course of this book. But there's one person, her arch enemy from her school, where they worked on a science project together, that her power never works on. And they wind up working together at this sea life animal rescue location, and it's just such a cool book. I'm really, really enjoying it. I'm about 50% done with it. That's what I'm currently reading. And I'm definitely going to hope to make progress on that tomorrow. Tomorrow I actually have off. It is Yom Kippur, so we actually have off from school tomorrow, which is actually really exciting. But the other books that are high on my TBR is I have had a little bit of a love-hate relationship recently with fantasy, so I'm going to kind of lead into fantasy this week. So the next book I'm going to pick up is The Inheritance Game by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I have read all of her crime mystery thriller books, and I'm really excited for this one. So this one is another one of her like family inheritance books. It's kind of like there's like boys involved, secret passages, elaborate riddles, billions at stake, let the games begin. I've also a girl named Avery, and she finds out that she is a part of a very, very wealthy family, and when she goes there, things are not always as they seem. This cover is really, really pretty. This is the Barnes & Noble YA book club pick, which I'm really excited for. So this will be my next read. Then, I've just been craving some school books. School is so weird this year. Instant Karma does have like a element of school elements, but I just need something that's like school-based, or something that just gives me some sense of normal. So I did decide to pick up Throw Like a Girl by Sarah Henning. She also did recently announce she's coming out with a gymnastic one in the next year or so, and I'm really excited for that one. So I figured I would pick this one up and see if I like it, because I really do like her fantasy novels. I read Sea Witch, and I read The Princess Will Save You. So this one is one that I picked up a while ago, and I just never got around to reading it. And then this was a book that from my last TBR that I had, In Ink and the Blood by Kim Schmelzig. This is a lush fantasy world that has to do with theater and ink and magic. So this will kind of be probably like the last book that I read that week, just to kind of give myself a little bit of a fantasy break, because the books I've been picking up I have not loved, but I am really liking Instant Karma and its subtle magic. I am going to take the first couple of days of this month and finish up on my Fandom Buzz podcast that I'm in the middle of listening to, because I fell super far behind on it. And I have like 5 or 6 episodes left. So after I finish that, I am going to start reading Scorched Dragons by Amy Kaufman, which is the sequel to Ice Dragons. And my nonfiction book for the month of October is going to be the Michelle Obama biography by Becoming. But yeah, so that's kind of my plan. I'm gonna kind of go. I literally waited like an hour for this video to upload. But I'm gonna check in with you guys tomorrow morning, and I will check in with you guys probably after I do my Skillshare class, and we'll chat a little bit about tomorrow. But I hope to spend a lot of time reading tomorrow and to catch up on my YouTube videos. I did wind up watching quite a few today, but I do want to do that tomorrow again, and it's my day off. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye. I'm back. I did actually wind up watching a little bit of TV last night after I stopped reading. I watched an episode of The Good Witch. I watched 2 episodes of The Vow, which is the HBO Max series about the NXIVM cult, which I always find super interesting. It's very much like a hard-hitting show, so if you're younger viewers probably wouldn't watch it, but it's very, very fascinating. I was a psych major in college, so always find cults and stuff like that super interesting. But I did wind up doing my Skillshare class. I am going to work out a little bit early today because I do have to go to physical therapy for my ankle because it's my last time before I officially go back to school, if that still happens. So I'm going to go do that, and then I'll probably check in with you guys to see what time it is because I have to head up at like 10 o'clock. So right now it's 9. So talk to you guys in a bit. Bye. You're checking back in. It's about 12:30. I did wind up running up to town. I ran a few errands. I went to the library. I never like share the library books that I get in my book hauls because they normally go back by then, but I wanted to share them now because I actually got quite a few. I've been struggling a little bit with high fantasy, so I've decided to just pick up a few options in case my TBR for the month of October is not wowing me. And these are just kind of like light-hearted reads, I'll say. But I picked up a couple of cozy mysteries. It's called A Murder Under the Covers by Kat Kervisil. And this is just like one of the cozy mysteries, which this one involves a bookbinder. And it just looks cute. So I wound up picking up this one. I also wound up picking up Bowled Over by Victoria Hamilton, which is a one that involves I think a girl that likes a vintage cookbook collector, and she gets wound up sucked up into a mystery. So those are the 2 cozy mysteries I picked up. And then I was really excited to find these 2 middle grades. I wound up picking up the Unmapped Chronicles, the Vickery Twins, and the Phoenix Tier. I enjoyed the Casper Talk one that I read in early January. Loved it, so I was really excited to see this one. I'm definitely going to read this one soon. I also picked up Sand Mag's Conquest. I am so missing my con life, and I actually might do a small reading vlog on all my con books that I have. I have a couple in my TBR because I was supposed to go to New York City Comic Con next weekend, but obviously got canceled. But this is a really short read, and I really hope that I get around to it. And then I just picked this one up because I saw it, but this is First Comes Daniel, a Bridgerton prequel. And I don't know, and this is the series that's coming soon to Netflix, so I figured I would pick this one up and see if I liked it. I read A Cold-Hearted Rake during COVID, and I really liked it. So hopefully I like this one. I'm going to kind of give it a shot, and these are just kind of my options if my TBR is not as engaging. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go outside. It's such a pretty day. It's a little bit humid, but I want to go outside. I want to read for a little bit. I want to make some progress on Instant Karma, which is the book that I'm in the middle of reading, and finally give you guys an official update. But yeah, I'm going to go do that, and I'll update you guys when I make a bit of progress. Bye. Right here, just sitting outside and relaxing, but I did wind up getting up to chapter 32 and 67% done in Instant Karma. It definitely has hit a climax point, I will say. And now it's like, Prue is starting to put all these instant karma pieces together, the things that she inadvertently caused that maybe weren't the best things that she caused, and she's really determined to try to right her wrongs, but I think it's going to lead her down a little bit of a dangerous path. Again, I will say from the start of this, if you watch my previous reading log, she's very much a control freak. Everything needs to go her way, and she doesn't like being seen in a negative light. So she's always very adamant that she has to solve all her problems, even when she has people willing to help her. I think that that's been something very good for young kids to learn, because I know as a young student, I was very fiercely independent, and I never asked for any help. So I feel like that's where Prue is. But I'm also loving the elements of the sea creatures that they're rescuing at this rescue center, because they're set off the coast, like on a small beach town. That is definitely the highlight of the story for me. I think you're learning a lot about the ecosystem and pollution and how pollution affects these animals, and I just think it's a great story. So I'm going to keep reading, and I'll update you guys when I can. Bye. Right here, I'm just checking back in. It's about 1:20. I did wind up getting up to page 70% done, chapter 34 in Instant Karma. This is definitely on track to become one of my favorite contemporary books I have read this year. It hits so many boxes. I love books that focus on self-discovery in characters. I love that as like an element of my contemporary reads, along with the romance. I also really love love-to-hate romances, which this definitely is. I love that there's a job type element that is kind of unique and different. I also like how there's like a competition or a saving element in something like saving a business or saving a location. This is ticking all my boxes, but definitely the focus on the environment and animals and the sea and pollution is just something that I'm really enjoying. I think Prue is a really interesting character, and in the backdrop of all this is this subtle magic component of the instant karma that Prue can cast on various people, minus her mortal enemy, which really hasn't been that like focused on in this book. Like they mention it at the very, very start of it, but eventually it's kind of become less and less and less. Um, Whenever she tries to cast something on him, it kind of comes back on her. But even the complexity of instant karma and casting it on people and having bad things happen to people is really a complicated thing, and I'm really, really enjoying that. I read this a lot in my previous reading vlogs. I'm just trying to catch you guys up a little bit if you guys didn't want up watching that one. But yeah, it's just quite a fun read. So I'm going to go back to reading, and I'll update you guys when I read about 10 more percent. Here, I'm back. I did want to finishing Instant Karma by Marissa Meyer. I really wound up adoring that book. I think that that book has so many of my favorite tropes combined together, but I felt like each trope or each element of that book really shined and it wasn't overwhelmed. I really liked a lot of the elements, but I think the highlight for me was the setting of most of the book being set at like a sea creature rescue facility, and I really thought that was such a cool setting. I like that this book focused so much on self-discovery, and that's like I the one thing I think I would have liked maybe a little bit, but I still gave it 5 stars, was just to see Quentin's point of view. But this book really was a lot about Prue's character, so I feel like this book it was kind of okay because um the magic stuff was not like the prominent focus of this. I mean, it was featured and it was like stuff did happen through this power she had. But I just thought it was handled really, really well. I like the love hate stuff. I also really like the sea creatures. I'm a big animal fan, so that was something that was really, really fun to read about. I also liked her new job that she had. I also really enjoy characters that have a big family because I'm an only child, so I like to see the dynamics. The family reminded me a little bit of Save the Date by Morgan Matson because that family was also super huge. It was a great read. Wound up giving it 5 stars. Definitely will hope that Marissa Meyer will write like more contemporary themed books in the future because I thought that that was just so perfect. Such a charming read and one that I thoroughly enjoyed. So I am going to pick up The Inheritance Game by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. Um, I really don't, I'll be honest, I know nothing about this book. I'll be super honest. I know that it's a girl named Avery. She finds out that she's a part of this family, and he apparently leaves her entire fortune and then she has to go live there, and there are boys and secrets and passageways. I love Jennifer Lynn Barnes books a lot. She writes very, very tightly wound mysteries, and they're always so captivating. Her Natural series, I think, is still one of my favorite, like, not spy, but like detective sort of stories. It was really, really cool, really, really well done, and I love that series. And then she wrote the Deadly Little Scandal series, which I thought was so well done as well, and I really do need to do a reread of that because that second book blew my mind. Like, I did not see that second book coming at all, so I do want to do a reread of that. But I am going to pick up this one. I just got this I got this like in late September or early September because it just came out. But yeah, I'm really excited to dive into this one. I also, since I am going back to work tomorrow for the moment, things change every single day, but I am going to stick this in my bag, the Julia Quinn First Comes Scandal, a Bridgerton prequel. I don't really know what I'm getting into, but I saw this at the library and figured that I will read this if I finish this early, but I am going to keep reading. I made such a dent in my YouTube videos. I'm really, really happy about that. But I do want to go start the Inheritance Game. So that's what I'm going to do. And yeah, I'll update you guys when I read about 50 pages. It normally takes for me, for about 50 pages for me to give you guys my honest thoughts. So I'm going to go do that, and then I'll update you guys when I can. Bye. Here, it's about 8:13. I did wind up reading a little bit. I wound up getting up to page 43 in The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I am really intrigued by it right off the bat, I'll be honest. So basically it follows this girl named, let me make sure I get her name right. I think it's Audrey. Is it Audrey? I think it's Audrey. Avery. Sorry, Avery. So you follow this girl named Avery. She's kind of living a little bit of a challenging life. Her mom recently passed away. She's living with her half sister. And there's a lot of drama going on. She's not like, she doesn't have a whole lot of friends. She's very, very smart. She kind of is like a con artist, I'll say, like in a sense. Like she really likes math. She really likes probability. And she kind of uses those skills to get what she wants. Like she's helping this young man who's homeless get a sandwich every single day, and they kind of play checkers. So she's very into probability, and that's kind of her personality. And one day she goes to school, and this man shows up and says that she has been set to be in this man who died will. And this man who died is a billionaire, like a millionaire. He's very, very fancy. She's never heard of him at all in her life. So she winds up going there with her sister to see the will being read, and she gets like almost the entire inheritance, and no one knows why she has it. She doesn't know this man. She's never met him before. So the people in the book are very like, there's 4 boys that are kind of players in this game, and they're not happy that she basically inherited all this money. So really, really intriguing. I'm going to try to read a little bit more before I go to bed. It's very, very fast-paced. That's how Jennifer Lynn Barnes' books are. They're, like, super fast-paced, but they're also super tightly wound. So you really have to pay attention to whatever you're reading, because when the big reveal comes, it's like a book that you could easily go back and pick out the red herring pieces. So yeah, I'm going to read a little bit more. I'm probably going to read to, like, 9, and then I'm probably going to go watch some Good Witch, which is the show I am determined to finish soon. Bye, guys. I didn't read that much more, but I did wind up getting up to page 50, which I think is a pretty good place to start because I just wanted to start it. I think I'll read this book very, very quickly. I tend to read her books pretty super fast. So tomorrow, my goal when I go to work is just to finish the podcast episodes that I have to listen to. Quite a few from Fandom Buzz, which Alexa and Mackie create, and I love them as creators, and I've been kind of taking a few months back because I didn't want to get spoiled on a bunch of stuff because that podcast is full of spoilers, and a lot of the series that they were spoiling I had not read yet, like Chain of Gold and Keeper of the Lost Cities. So whenever they pick something to spoil, I always read it so I'm not spoiled. But the good news about that podcast is like a lot of it's anime that I don't really watch. So I really don't mind that stuff, but the bookish content is really, really fun. But my goal is to make quite a bit of progress on this tomorrow. I actually think this vlog will probably not go the whole week. It will probably be like a midweek vlog because I read a lot today because I was off. So I will check in with you guys tomorrow when I get home from work and let you guys know any school updates. As of right now, we're supposed to open Thursday, but it's looking a little bit like that might not happen right now. But again, we find out things super late. So I will update you guys tomorrow. Bye. Here, I'm back. It is 4:47. I just got home from work. It's raining outside, so that has messed with my workout a little bit, but I will still get it done. But I did want to say that I did wind up listening to a few podcasts today. It was not an audiobook listening day yet. I think that's probably going to be November 1st. And not October 1st. But I did want to say that I did actually wind up reading a little bit of the Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. So I got up to page 109. It's a very, very fast-paced novel. I will say that. Like, super fast-paced. I don't really want to put the book down. Super short chapters. That is something that I like because I have a hard time stopping reading not at the end of a chapter, because I always feel like when I jump back into a book I'm like a little bit lost. So especially because I'm commuting so much now, like the back and forth, it's just easier to read like 3 pages and then know that my subway stop is next. But really enjoying it. I always love Jennifer Lynn Barnes books, but I'm going to give you guys a little bit more of a summary because I feel like I said a little bit about it late last night, but not enough. But you follow this girl named Avery, and she realizes that she has been left quite a massive inheritance in this billionaire's will that she's never met before. And the conditions of that is that, first of all, she's the person that inherited the most money, and she doesn't really know these people that well, and they kind of don't really know what to expect of her. So she has to stay here for a year to guarantee her inheritance comes through. But the people in his actual family are not having it. They're like very upset about this. but he kind of left clues to all of his grandsons. So you have like 4 grandsons. Well, I think it's 4 grandsons. I think it might be 3 or 4 grandsons. Sorry, they all tend to float together a little bit in my head. But she's starting to unravel the mystery of why she was bequeathed all this money, and he was very much like like he liked to make games for his grandsons. So she's kind of working with them all in different ways. The cinnamon roll of this book is definitely Xander. He is like adorable, and I just really like her relationships with everyone. You also do have her half sister there who's kind of acting as her guardian, and it's just a fun, fast paced novel. I'm like really, really liking it. I always love Jennifer Lynn Barnes' book. I think they're super fast paced and super well crafted. But yeah, so I'm actually gonna go work out because I can't go outside because it's raining. Also, the presidential debate is tonight, which I will be watching with bated breath for many, many reasons. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That should be an interesting team up between those 2 gentlemen. But I also do want to make some reading. I think Animal Crossing has lost its Halloween evening celebration, so I might actually try to go on Animal Crossing tonight. But I definitely am going to go work out. And then when I eventually finish all those little errands, I'll report back when I actually start reading again. But so far, very, very, very solid. And her books tend to pack a wild punch at the end. Especially the Natural series did, but also the other series that she read was awesome. I also really liked The Lovely and the Lost, which she wrote most recently, which had to do with rescue dogs, which I read like 2 years ago at this point. So I'm gonna go organize my life, go work out, and then I'll check in with you guys again. Bye. Just checking back in. I did wind up working out, doing my workouts, and I wound up reading a little bit more of The Inheritance Game by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I'm now on page 122. I'm really liking this book. I love books about mysteries. I love books about like subtle mysteries, and I think that there's quite a few in this book that were kind of untangling. I love that Avery is kind of pushed into a new situation that she really is like totally unprepared for. I like that it's kind of a mystery why she was chosen by this millionaire to be his heir, and she kind of has no idea, and either do any of his family members, so they're all kind of get to the bottom of it. And then she's kind of getting to know these 3 boys, and there's 2 boys that are willing to give her a chance, and then there's 1 boy that is just not giving her a chance in any stretch of the imagination. There's also some other past secrets that are being revealed, and it's just quite a fun read. I really am liking it. But I am going to go get a small snack, and then I'm going to keep reading. So I'll update you guys when I get up to probably like 150, because this book is a very, very fast read. Talk to you guys in a bit. Bye. Hey, it's Laura here. I am back. It's almost 8:50. I did wind up getting up to page 150 in The Inheritance Game by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. Still really, really fond of this book. I think it's super fast paced. I think it's becoming more complicated. I've said this before about her books. They're very, very complicated, and you don't know that it's that complicated until the very end, or sometimes even the end of the series. I definitely felt that way with her her debutante series, because it got complicated and so tightly wound in the second book that I really do need to reread that series. But I love fish out of water stories. I love when characters are kind of thrust into a world they're not expecting. I always, for some reason, I like when it's like a rich environment and this character is nothing but rich. But I do like this because it's also like not it's not like an expected one. Like, it's not like she finds out this family is hers and she thrusts in this world. She just kind of got left all this money and no one knows why. And he disinherited his family and she's that one person. So I'm finding that super interesting, but I also like that because her life is so different, she cares about other things. Like, and I think that will see, like, she can almost see, like, oh, I can do this with this much money. Like, I think that's going to be interesting. These 4 boys are very interesting. It reminds me a lot, and this is, like, a weird analogy, but the Paper Princess young adult, I think it was new adult, actually. I never wound up finishing it. But it follows this girl, and she winds up going to live with these 4 boys, and it gets a little bit sexy. I'll say that. It was like a new adult series. And I liked it. And I thought that those dynamics are very similar to what's happening here. But I feel like it's less likely to get romantic with them all, and maybe just one who is a broody bad boy. But I am going to watch the debate and read this in the background if my nerves can handle it. And I will update you guys. I might update you guys before I go, but it depends on how much I read. but I also might be too tired. So I'll talk to you guys in a bit. Bye. I didn't update when I immediately got home because I wanted to go for a quick bike ride, but in happy news, I did wind up making quite a bit of progress on the Inheritance games. I'm now on page 222. A lot of mini plot points are being revealed. The book has gotten much more interesting. Avery's developed, or is it Avery or Aubrey? All the characters in the book say her name differently, but I think it's Aubrey or Avery. Here I'm back. I just want to do a quick update. I did wind up working out when I got home. Today was a weird day at work. We actually are starting in-person learning tomorrow, which for me will be definitely different than what I normally do, but I am excited to see the kids again because it's been a bit, and I get to meet my 6th graders. I'm really happy about that, and I get to meet some more of my only virtual classes because those got changed today, so I haven't met those kids yet. But I didn't really do a lot of like audiobook listening yet. I was listening to a lot of podcasts based on like current events. We're in election year. That's gonna happen. Sorry. But I did wind up reading a little bit more of the Inheritance game. I'm now on page 222. It's definitely a fast-paced read. I'm really enjoying the quick chapters. We have gotten a lot of subtle information about it. Avery is such a fun character. I love characters that are kind of thrust into like a high-profile world, especially the situation that Avery is in, because it's just as like a unique situation. There's a lot of intensity in these books. That's the one thing I struggled a little bit with her debutante series. Like, it was very, very light and very, very fluffy at moments, but it packed like an unexpected punch. This punch is more like her natural series, which I really, really enjoyed, but the setting is totally different. I love all the boys she's interacting with because there's a couple of boys that are like the family in this, and has a very different relationship with each of them. My personal favorite is Xander because they're kind of co-conspirators in that way, but she's also uncovering a lot of other mysteries that are kind of going to identify why she got this money, and I have my own theory, but I'll be curious if I'm right about that. But I'm really, really liking it. So I'm going to go read for a little bit more. I'm probably going to try to read quite a bit of this. It's my goal. And because the debate went so late last night, I didn't actually get to watch an episode of The Good Witch, which I was upset about. But I hope to do that tonight and kick off October 1st really, really nicely. So I'm going to go do that, and I'll update you guys when I read about 50 more pages. Bye. Hi guys, Lori here. I'm back. I just wound up reading up to page 250 in the Inheritance game. It's getting quite twisty, and I do really, really like stories like that. I really like Avery as a character. I like all the side characters. We're getting some more female characters in this book as well. I always like a nice balance. I've said that in a few of my other reads that like I felt like the female characters were not as prevalent, but there are quite a few. And it's just a very, very compelling novel. I really do like mysteries. I like trying to solve mysteries a lot of the time, so I'm really, really quite compelled. The boys in this book are just so perfect. Like, I definitely have some of my favorite tropes in here. A bad boy, like a thrill seeker, and just adorable Cinnamon Roll Xander. I love him. He's quite cute. But there are also like a lot of secrets as well that I am really, really liking untangling. So I'm going to go read probably like about 50 more pages, and then I'll probably update you guys. So when I get up to page 300, I'll update you, but I am reading this very, very fast. The chapters are super short, but also the print is super big. So I'm going to go back to reading, and I'll update you guys when I can. Bye. Just checking back in. I did actually wind up getting up to page 300 in the Inheritance games. I'm really liking this book. I'm quite fond of it. It definitely has some unexpected twists and turns, and I never can predict her books. Like, I'm always super bad at predicting them. So there's one major mystery. Someone is kind of after her right now, and I wonder if that's going to be like a book 1 wrap up, or it's going to be a whole series. I'm really liking it. I'm liking the elements of mystery and the mysteries and the riddles that the characters have to solve. I think it's such an interesting premise that like it's kind of a mix between the Paper Princess series I talked about last time and her debutante series, Escape there's a lot more mystery and thrillery elements of it than I found was in her debutante series, because I felt like that was like thriller light but very mystery heavy, and this one I feel is like a better combination. There are some mystery elements. There's a strong like thrillery element because they're also investigating a few things, but I also equate the relationships back to the characters that I found in Paper Princess, because the brother dynamics are super compelling. But I like all the brothers. I think that they do have three unique voices, and she's in the middle of a possible love triangle, I'll say that. And I don't always love triangles because I always fall for the wrong boy, I'll be honest, without fail. And I definitely have a favorite in this book, and it's probably not going to be the one she chooses. But yeah, tomorrow is the first day of school. Like, the kids are coming back, which I'm excited about. It's a little bit nerve-wracking just because we haven't done this since like March, and it's also a totally different system than what I've been doing for the past 2 years. So when I come home, I hope to be almost done with this, or close to being done. I do read this very, very quick, and I have a pretty long commute into the city and back because now that my train station has changed. So yeah, I will check in with you guys tomorrow with a longer update on my school day and my thoughts on the Inheritance games if I'm able to finish it. Right, here I am back. I did want to say that I literally just got home from work, but I did want to say that I did wind up finishing The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I really wound up liking this book. Definitely would give it 4.5 stars. I found it to be super compelling, super fast paced. Love the characters. The ending the twist at the end, I really didn't see coming, and I found it to be a very, very fun paced novel. It kind of reminds me a little bit of her debutante series, but also definitely of like other series that have a mystery thriller twist. There's definitely a romance subplot, I would say, in this, but super, super fun. I really wound up liking it, and I'm so excited that I picked it up. Today is also October 1st, so this is the first book I finished reading in October, and I did start reading First Comes Scandal by Julia Quinn. This is a Bridgerton sequel novel. I read one, it wasn't by her, but I read another, like, historical fiction romance, Regency romance in the start of COVID, and I wound up really liking it, and Alexa from Alexa Love Books really, really likes the series, and it's going to be a Netflix series soon, so I figured I would read it. This is like the prequel series, but there's like another series. But basically it follows these two characters, Georgina Bridgerton and Nicholas Roxby, and they're basically forced into a marriage of convenience when her reputation is kind of soiled when she's kidnapped by somebody. And when that happens, you're not likely to get any marriage proposals. So they're kind of being forced to get married. And I think it will eventually lead to romance. It's kind of cute. I'm only like 52 pages in, but it's kind of a fast read. So I'm going to go for my bike ride, and I'm going to come home and probably just read while I have the time. But yeah, I'll update you guys when I get home and if I make it, and once I make some progress on First Comes Scandal. Bye. Checking back in. In my previous update that I did right when I got home from work, I didn't actually update you about work. So today was the first day with kids, which like in a building, which was it's really weird for me because I have 10 classes, 5 are fully remote and 5 are in person. So it's a lot. It went actually better than I thought it was going to go. I really want this to be over, and I want us to all be back in school safely and soundly because I do like how I normally teach my class. But I'm trying to see the positive in every situation, and it is sometimes a little bit easier to have such small classes. I think it's going to force my kids to be a little bit more confident in their abilities, and I do have a couple of repeat classes from last year, which got crushed due to COVID, so I'm actually happy that like I kind of get to redo a bunch of stuff. But yeah, so I had a really good day. Tomorrow's going to be another different type of day because it's like I'm going to see another bunch of classes. But I also have to do homeroom tomorrow, and I have to do dismissal, which I didn't have to do today because I didn't have all my remote classes were during those time periods. So yeah, but I am gonna go read a bit more of First Comes Scandal by Julia Quinn. I read about 52 pages, really enjoyed it. I have been dying to read a little bit of something that's kind of fluffy and just kind of fun, and these books are really, really fast paced. So I'm going to go read a little bit, and when I read about 100 more pages, I'll probably update you. Right now, they haven't even met yet, so I think once I get to that part and I see their witty banter, I'll probably like it even more, but so far, it's just quite a fun read. Talk to you guys in a bit. Bye. Checking back in, it's like exactly 8:05. I did wind up reading another 100 pages of First Comes Scandal by Julia Quinn. I'm really liking this book. I'm quite fond of witty banter in this time period. I think it's just so fun. It's like such like a lighthearted read. But basically, the character named Georgie has been ruined, I guess, because she was kidnapped by someone, and then everyone in her most close town thinks they slept together, and now no one will marry her. So a family that she's close to and she's known them kind of since childhood, his father, his name is Nicholas, decided that they are going to get married. So now he's kind of proposing to her. But it's just so cute. It's so lighthearted. She has 2 little nephews that she's watching right now, like for her sister. So it's just a cute read. Like honestly, like it's not like, I mean, it's just fun. It's just a little bit lighthearted, and with a little bit of a stressful week that I've gone through, I'm just happy to have something super lighthearted. I do want to get to some creepy reads this weekend, but I am going to try to get up to page at least 150 to see how far that takes me, and then I'll probably check in with you guys again. But I do like the characters. I like the large family that we have, because we do have the Bridgertons and we do have the Roxburghs. This is the Roxbury series, and I'm reading them sort of out of order, but it's just a really, really fun read, and I'm really, really enjoying it. So I'm going to go back to reading, and I'll update you guys when I read about 50 more pages. Bye. Hey here. I am updating this so much later than I originally thought, but I got home from work and I went to start updating you guys, and I realized that I had no more space on my computer. So I had to like back up everything and post some videos and schedule some videos. But I did want to come in here and wrap up this reading vlog, and I'm probably going to start my next reading vlog tomorrow morning when I'm kind of organized. But I did want to say that between last night and this morning, or today, I did wind up reading about 208 pages in First Comes Scandal by Julia Quinn. I'm finding this to be super fun. It's kind of like a lighthearted read. There's an arranged marriage. There's a relationship from the past. There's a very, very witty girl. And I'm liking it. I'm really, really enjoying it. It's quite fun. Also, earlier in this reading vlog, I did wind up finishing The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. Also, I did wind up starting this morning. I wound up starting Song of Death by Ronnie Choshky. So those were like my mini reading plans. But I'll be honest, today was all about watching the news and what's going on in Washington. I'll be a little bit honest. I am intrigued to see what happens with President Trump and all that other stuff. But alas, so I'm gonna go finish this reading vlog, and I will start my next reading vlog tomorrow morning when I wake up. But I am really liking this. I definitely want to get the other ones in the series, but this book was very, very fun as well. So I actually had a pretty good reading week overall, which is a lot better than my last reading vlog that I did, where I read like 2 books I really didn't wind up loving. But I'm gonna go finish my R&D stuff, and then I will see you guys for my next reading vlog. Bye.